with the basement dwellers. Hosted by your boys Jacob Santoro and Christian Talone.
You're blabbering about unnecessary stuff. Cut it out.
Don't forget to hit that like, subscribe button to get all the updates from the channel too.
Tell me what your hand's doing over that button first.
But for now, just loud shout and kick back, cause I got a fresh one right here delivered to your speakers. Lock in.
Again, here they come again. They were not doing anything. They weren't flying. They weren't doing anything until we started. And that's like an afterburner, like turbo. Like, that's so insulting. That's so insulting. That's ridiculous. This cannot be a inside joke for the show. I refuse. Like, this is so stupid.
My hair look okay?
Yeah, it looks great.
All right.
Yeah.
My hair look okay, guys?
That's okay. We'll wait.
I know. I just gotta spruce up now.
Yeah.
No, we have some.
No, why are you so self-conscious?
Huh? No, because the Jets. I'm like, I have time to.
Oh,
fucking
you were like
fix
talking.
my look.
You were talking about like you said like your what was wrong with your shoulders?
Oh no, it's just a big shirt,
Oh,
and I'm a pretty broad-shouldered guy for my size, so I feel like the big shirts just make me look fat sometimes.
I don't have that problem with I don't.
Speaking of me looking fat sometimes, when you sent me that Snapchat from like 2 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was still working at the car dealership, like holy fuck,
Yeah, dude.
I started working out that same day again.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, I want to get as far away from that as possible.
I mean, you have. I mean, it was a shock to me. Like I never noticed it at the time.
Yeah, I don't know what.
You were big.
Yeah, I look pregnant.
I was like, damn, dude, you almost like you're like me. You look like me in that video. And I was like, wait.
I do look like you, fatty boomalady.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you've lost it. You've definitely lost that weight. A good amount of it.
Still working on it.
Yeah.
You can too. Fat pizza shit.
Is that so? What is that? Your motivation for workouts is like looking at your
Just
former
look at
self?
my fat self. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I just get like really sad about like my mortality, and that's what inspires me.
care about that.
Yeah, that's what inspires me to start working
No,
out.
I'm gonna die one day.
Everything under
You
the
are too. So is he.
everything-
Probably sooner than most of us.
Yeah, I'm going first, and then Christian will have to do this whole
Maybe
show.
not with that smoker laugh I got.
Yeah. No, everything under the sun just hurts my tummy now. Like I have to use like oat milk, and like I it's not even that. Like I used to tell myself like, oh, I was so proud of that I'm not drinking so much anymore, but it's not really by choice when I think about it. It's more so that every time I just have more than 2 beers, I just like my whole day's ruined.
You know what I think that is a lot of the time? Because I always notice that people I know who like say like, oh, I can't eat like ground beef anymore, or I can't drink regular milk anymore, right? It just hurts my stomach too much. And I'm like, yeah, I think that's just because you stopped drinking it, you know?
No, I don't know.
Like, so like my roommate, like she stopped eating meat for a while, right? And then like even still certain types of meat, like she won't go near, like chicken. She will not eat chicken if she sees it being cooked. Yeah.
Wonder why.
I don't. She just says something like about like I don't know. It just looks like dead meat to her, and it doesn't when it's cooked. I guess. So.
You know what's always perplexed me is how come it's okay to eat like raw red meat, like beef?
It's
but
not.
Oh, I mean, like people serve it though. Like there's
Yeah.
restaurants that serve like tartar and like stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it's just like you'll never find like uncooked chicken.
Yeah,
So it's like
'cause-
people walk
'cause
out of the restaurant.
salmonella.
Right, but like why come not in red beef?
I don't know. Something about poultry and lizards.
Because like even like fish, like sushi grade fish, you can eat just raw.
Sometimes. I mean, it's always about the preparation of it and how long it's been out and stuff. Like, obviously, don't eat like ground beef or like a steak that's been sitting in your fridge uncooked for like 4 days.
It might be the same thing, but there is something about like if you were to cut a piece of steak, like a New York strip, and just be like, I dare to eat that, I would be more reluctant to eat that than like if you just took a spoonful of like hamburger meat and were just like, eat this. I don't know why one seems more safe than the other.
Really, I feel like I would love to just take a bite out of some raw steak.
Just well, no, I would too, but that's what I'm saying. Like, like it sounds more appetizing to do it as like a cut of meat as opposed to like ground up meat. I don't know. I feel like once you include like the ground up aspect of it, like that's where I just get turned off to the idea of like raw.
I think it's like like a primal instinct, right?
I don't think so.
No,
No.
I feel like I think about so many things.
All right, Joe Rogan.
No, I feel like I recognize so many things, and I'm just like, that's got to be just like a descendant thing from like our primal instincts, you know? Because like think about it, like straight up just biting into a steak, like just think about how good that would feel in your teeth, just that, you know?
I guess.
Right.
I don't know. I will still say to this day that I always feel like if I was in Unga Bunga times, I would just be a gatherer, like with the other ladies. So I don't know. I don't have that instinct. Like I've
Just
never.
like you never just feel like just the masculine urge to just go into the forest in a loincloth and like
No.
spear hunt animals.
You know what I think it is? Is because I can't even grow a beard. So like I don't know.
I don't know. Your growth
Nope.
is no. Grow it out. I want to see what it looks like.
No,
when you grow it.
that's what I'm saying is that you'll see from think about where my mustache starts to curve down,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's one straight line down my neck,
Cool.
and then there's no, and then there's just little patches, like but this
I mean, that's
never
what I get.
like this.
I lined myself up.
No,
yesterday,
but
though.
like mine will never do with that. What you're doing, not right now at least. I don't know if it ever will, but I can't grow a beard.
should I just go like straight mutton chops? Like just get rid of all this.
That'd be cool.
Would it be?
I don't know. Try it out. It's hair. It grows back.
That's true.
That's why. How many haircuts have I had in the life of this show? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I love doing stuff with my hair because it always grows back.
I've cut my hair one time in like the last 4 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, whatever if it works for you. I think that a lot of good hairstyles for me, like I feel like I'll be more confident in them if and when weight loss actually happens.
If and when.
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like, I don't know. I just feel like a lot more hairstyles would look better on me if I wasn't so round faced.
I know. Every time I talk about straightening my hair, Kendra's like, "Don't fucking do that." No. Really?
No, I don't think that's just like a you thing. I don't think any dudes in our age group just look good with flat ironed hair. And I think
guess that's
I think
true.
that's just kind of like when like that's our like generation's perm. You know what I mean? Like no one fucking perms it out anymore. You know, it's just like it's a style that it's just like it's not. I mean, I don't know. I know that you're always like, oh, you always talk so much shit, but I'm also the first one to say, do whatever makes you happy.
No, I mean you're right. I mean
That's why when I went bald, I loved being bald,
yeah.
and I got a lot of mixed reactions from that. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth. Because I thought about straightening like my mullet, and like I wonder how that would look. I haven't done it yet, but
I think it would look the same, but without sides.
huh? Oh, just like silly.
You know what I think it was? It was also the fact that you were like you like the picture you sent. You also had like a flat brim hat on. So you definitely just like, how you do, fellow young kids? Like,
I did
are we
not.
going to Warp Tour?
I did not.
Then you definitely put one on, like when you had your hair.
I probably was just to you, and I was
Yeah.
probably just like, how about with a hat?
Oh yeah, no. See, they
Damn.
just Let's go see Pierce the Veil. I hope
Glory days are behind me, kids.
I don't even know. I mean,
Old Christian's turned into an old geezer.
I don't know. I also think that shouldn't matter either. I think you should be able to do whatever you want. Just have confidence, but you also need to be prepared when people say, "I don't think it looks good." But it doesn't matter.
But then my feelings get hurt.
Oh, my feelings get hurt every single day of my life, Christian. But you know how many fucking jokes I got, like Kingpin jokes I got when I was bald, just Spider-Man, like
Spider-Man.
yeah, like but it's just
About
like
the Mets.
it's yeah, but you know I like being bald.
I feel that. Honestly, I wonder what the top of my scalp feels like.
Should just go bald.
No.
Should we bald together?
No.
That'd be cool.
I look super Mexican with no hair.
Yeah,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to see it.
I look like a fucking cholo. I look like a Hector.
That's cool. See, then you
Is
can
it?
you can accessorize around it, dude. You could just look like you're going to Suicidal Tendency shows all the time.
Damn, just tattoo my eyebrow.
Hell yeah,
It's like,
that'd be cool. Just right across.
yeah.
If you had to get a tattoo across your eyebrow, what would it say? You have to. Just bzz, what would you put? I don't know what I would put. That's why I'm asking you first.
I don't know.
Usually I'm like locked and loaded with like what I would say, but I honestly, but like again in this situation, you have to.
I don't know.
You think like a birthday's dumb?
Yeah.
I can't put like 10 10 9 4.
I'm honestly not a fan of birthdays, period. Like,
You know what I don't like? I don't like those hardcore tattoos where it's just like the X and it's like EST like 1994.
that's fucking gay.
Yeah, I've never There's so many people. That one,
Are we allowed to call stuff gay?
yeah, we can call
Is that
stuff
still
gay.
PC? I'm sorry, guys.
No, that's okay. It's pretty gay. I have no problem saying it's pretty gay. I think that
I said, is that still PC? No, the fuck it's not, but whatever.
no, who cares? People who get mad at that, I don't want them watching our show anyway. So because they sound not fun to be at at parties. Yeah.
I remember when I was working. So we have a trans driver, right?
Mm-hmm.
and we were training a manager, and he was telling a story to the driver, and he was just like, "Oh yeah," he's like, "You would hate driving around my neighborhood." He's like, "It's bumps and curves and cracks and potholes and shit." He's like, "You'd be like, where the fuck am I supposed to go?"
Oh, like he was like mimicking him. Yeah.
He did that. Like
Yeah.
he was just talking,
Right, but
like I think he like mocked his voice
Yeah.
without like realizing that he did it.
right.
And then I feel like I'm like an asshole. I was just like, damn, you're not gonna say anything about how he just straight up just made fun of your voice.
Yeah. Yeah, because he was talking fine like normal, and then he like mocked the voice.
Yeah, and then she was just like, why did you pitch your voice up? Kind of like how I just did.
Yeah, yeah. No, you're just giving an example. That's okay.
But
Yeah.
yeah, that shit was funny.
Yeah, it's like what was like the it's like when you hear the word fabulous, what's the first voice that comes to mind? It's because that was everything in the '90s and early 2000s. Like,
Fabulous.
Fabulous, yeah. You know what I mean? That is pretty funny. But yeah, it's like the same. It's just man, like I don't know how you would drive around in my neighborhood. You'd just be like, I can't get a right turn anywhere. Like yeah, you can't do that. Like it's just like how fucked up is that?
You calling me a bad driver?
yeah. Like it's just like how fucked up is that? I'm just like, hell, man.
Drive my car to.
Yeah, that. So I don't think that's innately bad, and I don't think that people mean to intentionally do that. But I think that everyone, it just slips through the cracks sometimes. But I will say, and I'll say this till the day I die, that gay and retarded are my two favorite
Same.
words. Yeah. So
Sorry, guys.
no, don't be sorry. That's what I'm saying. Like I just don't, like it's. I was going.
I am sorry because it's just like, hey, listen, like, how else do you explain to someone like, hey, I say gay, I say retard, and I promise you, when I say either of those words, a gay person does not pop into my head, and
Right.
a retarded person does not pop into my head.
Yeah.
You know,
Right. Right.
I don't know what to tell you.
Just the Michael Scott thing. It's like you don't call retarded people retards.
Yeah, I would never.
You call your friend that when they're being retarded.
Unless
Like-
he's cool and like he's down with the fucking jokes.
Which I've learned that most who can communicate in a way are kind of totally okay with
I've
that.
seen videos where like it's like a TikTok or something, and she has like a Down syndrome brother.
Yeah.
And then she's just like, why would you guys call him retarded? He's not retarded. He was just like, yes, I am.
yeah. Yeah, I mean, but that's like the thing though, is that it's just like there's a difference between malicious intent and just like come on, dude. Like,
Or have you seen the one where like she talks about eating the crayons? She was just like she was like reading a comment, and it was just like, does he ever think about which color crayons taste the best? And she was like, no, he doesn't. He was like, yeah, I do.
yeah, so it's just like whatever,
I want to figure out what channel that is.
I saw this like a comic strip or something like that. It's like I thought it was funny. It's just such like a dad joke, or just like But the guy like bumps into someone, and he's like, "Dude, what's your problem?" And the guy's like, "Oh, I'm blind, so I couldn't see you." And he goes, "Oh, I see." You know what I mean? And he's just like, "Oh," and I thought that was pretty funny.
That is funny.
But no, like I sometimes it gets bad because like I just my vernacular is so bad because I call everyone dude, bro. It doesn't matter if you're like my partner, my parents, and so it's just like there are times where like in the group chat at like work, I just want to be like, God, this guy was so gay. Like, you know what I mean? Like God, that was retarded. You know what I mean? So I had like there is a time and a place for sure. Now what I do think is tacky now is like doing like the Mencia of like just, you know what I mean? Like that's lame now. It's like like making fun of it. Like yeah, like that's stupid.
That is fucking.
And it's just like not your
because he's hungry for money.
Does he even exist anymore? Is he still alive?
The last I saw of him, Joe Rogan was like fucking his shit up on stage.
That was like in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't even remember watching that show as a kid. You know what I do remember watching all the time was the Andy Milonakis show. I actually had a really good talk about this with Courtney and Kaya recently about just like I feel like I talk about this a lot. Maybe you can back me up on this. Like, do I talk about like just how much I hate nostalgia on this show?
It's come up a few times.
I feel like I do that a lot, but like we were just talking about that. How I was like, when I was a kid, like the Andy Milonakis show was one of the funniest things in existence. Like it was all of my inside jokes with my friends. Like I watched it day in and day out. Like we used to have the DVD and I would just watch it all the time. And it's just like, I watched like some of the clips recently and I'm just like, it doesn't suck, but I'm just like, okay, well, I don't know.
Yeah, no, it definitely doesn't hit the same as it did back then. And maybe just because you were like an immature kid, you know, but.
I mean, I think we all were. I mean, were you a mature kid?
Huh?
Were you a mature?
I was the most mature kid.
Were you?
No, actually, it's funny that you mentioned that because last night I was just like going through like my my Facebook chat messages, which by the way, everyone like 2014 Christian.
They don't go away unless
so
you delete
sorry.
them. Yeah,
I'm so sorry to all of you, all the
Yeah.
women. I've been disrespectful to.
yeah.
No, like, yeah, like for real. Like I was going back down, like scrolling because like I don't have a lot of chats in there, but it was enough like in there that I just never got rid of. That I was just like, oh, who's this? Because a lot of people don't even have Facebooks anymore, or they're just not friends with me anymore. You know, and it was just
I think
like,
that's what that is really. I don't think they stopped.
They
having
just don't like
Facebook.
me
Yeah, I
anymore.
think they just blocked you.
that's all right. Yeah, I would say like chat with Facebook user, and I would click on it to try to figure out who it was.
Oh, I love that game.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that game. Yeah.
And there was some, and you know what fucking bothers me, dude?
What?
Bitches used to hit me up back
Yeah,
in
you're
the day.
Pretty boy.
What happened?
Pretty boy. I was fishing for sure. I was just kind of casting a wide cold call net and just seeing if anything stuck. But I do love the.
Hey, I'm Jacob.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm Jacob. Hey, I'm Jacob.
Yeah. Like, I love that game. Just when it just says Facebook user, you're
Yeah.
just like, all right, who was this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So fun.
Yeah. No, there was one.
Until
chick.
it's not fun. There were some conversations.
There was one
like,
that was
"Oh."
not fun. There was one chick, right?
Yeah.
So this is kind of a fucked up story. So in high school, all right, I was talking to this. Between like because I dated two girls in high school, really, like actually dated or like was with two girls.
Yeah.
The first one ended like the beginning of junior year, right? We started dating like halfway through freshman year, ended middle of junior year. And then I dated this other girl, and we broke up like towards the end of junior year, right? Somewhere around there. And after her, I like went crazy, and I started
As teenage boys usually do.
hoeing around a little bit. I say hoeing around, but I wasn't really. I was just like kissing girls,
Just
you know.
giving smooches.
Yeah, I
Just
wasn't.
holding hands.
Yeah, I wasn't a virgin, but I wasn't like slinging dick all over the place. You know, I was just like making out with girls here and there. And
Just back when you could just make out for hours.
I know, right? Just fucking dry hump on the couch.
Yeah,
or
I
something.
know, dude. And then you just go home and you just all like shaky legged,
My
like
balls hurt.
yeah.
I got a zipper rash
But
on
like,
my dick helmet.
but like, you're so afraid to like do anything else. You know what I mean? So like,
Yeah.
you were so content with doing that, but it's
Yeah.
just like, like, because I was a late bloomer for sure. At least with like jacking it, and like, so it's like I didn't know what to do.
Yeah.
So I would just sit there in my room, just like.
I figured it out 6th grade.
I had friends that would talk about it, but like I just was like, that doesn't sound right. Like, it's just like,
Yeah, you just do this.
yeah, you're not supposed to do that. Like,
No, you just push it up on something.
dude, I was so afraid of my body like growing up.
You
Like,
just mush it in between the couch cushions.
yeah. So that's what, yeah, like it is that Louis C.K. bit. Like that's what it was. Like just pressure. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
like,
just-
yeah. You know what I mean? It's just like,
But like, sorry.
it's okay.
Damn, you're right. That espresso does make you burpy.
Yeah, it does.
But so I was talking to this girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or she hit me up, and this is like where I saw like this is the first time she ever hit me up, and it's funny because like I remember she dated like one of my good friends from high school
Mm-hmm.
before he like went away. We won't talk about it, but
okay.
he went away. And this girl started hitting me up, and that's the first thing I said just to see like just like feel it out, right? I was just like. It's so funny because it was just like I was reading this last night. It feels like it was yesterday now. And she's like, "Hey, I'm so and so." She was like, "I don't think we've ever talked before." And I was like, "No, I think you used to date one of my best friends." Just to be like, "Your move, like, what's happening now?"
What you gonna say to that, huh?
Yeah. And then she was just like, "Oh yeah, I did. Whatever. How is he?" I'm like, "He's good, I guess.
I'd have been like, he died.
He's fucking dead.
Yeah. Broke his heart. He died.
He died of a broken heart."
Yeah.
But yeah, and then like it like progressed into like, hey, let's hang out at lunch. Hey, let's do this. Let's do that, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just like reading through like the messages to like
Oh, like
the
my
da-
stomach's a notch just like thinking
just the
about.
downfall. Cause do you know this is who I'm talking about?
You tell me later.
Okay, but so anyways, it got to the point where like me and this chick would like she was just like we weren't dating. We just like make out like occasionally, right?
Cool, man.
And I remember like specifically one time like she came over to the lunch table and we made out, and I remember she tasted like fucking chocolate milk because the lunch chocolate
Yeah,
milk.
just the. Like,
Yeah, I was just like, interesting. But Anyway, so like we were
School just had you drinking chocolate milk at 10:30 and on a Tuesday.
my Chucky milk.
Chocolate milk and pizza.
Oh god, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Anyway, so like I asked her to the dance, whatever dance it was, and we were supposed to go. And I remember like, because we all know my fucking horrible ex, not the one that I have a kid with, but the one before that. Yeah, and fucking she like just popped up like back in my life randomly.
Yeah.
And I remember like, I'm so glad I'm telling this story on the show, dude. Fuck you.
Yeah.
But she showed up to my house, my ex, like while I was talking to this girl, right? She showed up to my house with like just arms full of like snacks and everything, snacks and energy drinks and stuff I like. I remember because fucking I have a scar on my finger that I got that day because I was cutting roses, not for her, but
These aren't for you.
but yeah, I cut my finger, whatever.
Yeah.
She shows up and my dad's just like, hey, she's here. And I was like, who's here? She was like, she's here. And I was like, okay. He was like, she's crying.
Oh.
I was like, oh, fuck. And I went out there and she was like holding all this shit and she was just like crying. And she was like, I'm so sorry.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt really bad. And I
Yeah.
was just like, okay, give me this.
Yeah.
Put it there. I was like, what? I didn't want to invite her in. I was just like, you want to go for a walk or something?
Sure.
Like, you know, she was just like, yeah. And we went for a walk and talked about shit. And
Which are the worst talks because neither of you were just emotionally mature at that age. So it's just nothing
I was
gets
gonna say,
resolved.
I feel like I was pretty emotionally mature,
no, you
but
weren't.
at the end, I proved that I definitely wasn't.
Yeah, you were.
But through this part, I was like, okay, hey, let's go for a walk. Let's see, whatever.
Yeah.
And she was just like, I brought all that for you because I'm sorry and about this that happened and blah 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 blah. And I was like, okay, cool. And we're like talking to the point where it's just kind of like we're talking in circles. And then like just me like a fucking like novella. Like I just kiss her passionately.
Okay.
And I remember like holding her and I was just like, if you ever do that to me again.
Don't ever hurt me again.
I'm not lying. I didn't say this in my head. I said this in her ear.
Oh God.
So not emotionally mature, but and then I texted that other girl and I was just like, hey, I'm gonna go to the dance with my ex now, so have fun.
That's awesome.
That's fucked up, dude.
Yeah, that
I
is fucked
feel
up.
bad about that to this day.
You know, that's the thing though, is that I've learned that like dudes will think about that stuff all the time, but I bet you if you had those two people in the room and you told that
They
story,
probably wouldn't remember.
they'd be like, oh, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like, because like dudes hold on to shit forever. Like,
Yeah.
and like I think that everyone will wake up every now and again. It's like, do you remember that horrible thing you did in the 6th grade? But I think that it resonates really bad with dudes. At least my dude friends have told me when my girlfriends have not told me. So I could be wrong, but like, yeah, like those kind of things. Like you think about like girls that you'll never see again. You know what I mean? And you're just
Well, yeah, the whole man thing is just like don't let them see you cry.
yeah, or
You
like
know?
just don't be embarrassing.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
All right, now you share a story.
Okay, I do have one.
Okay, cool.
I mean, I had one actual girlfriend in high school, and we were cool. I mean, for a little bit, but I was just fucking psychotic, just crazy, because
You were crazy?
yeah, just because it's just like I'm allowed to touch boobs whenever I want, and then now she's like,
Right.
hey, I don't want to do this anymore, and I'm just like, okay, that's cool. I'm gonna go postal now because you know what I mean, like it's just like you're just so like just you're a kid, you're full of hormones, and you're just sad because this is just like, well, I'm never gonna be happy ever
Oh
again.
yeah, dude. I did not take breakups very well.
Yeah, well, yeah, and I was always so self-destructive. It's like see, that's what I think is like I'm so embarrassed by that. You know what I mean? Because it's I was
Getting broken up with?
yeah, or just breakups or relationships. Because again, I was so emotionally immature. I still kind of am. I mean, I'm trying to work on myself, but no, this is
Dude,
one of my.
you're great.
Thanks, buddy. You're great. Yeah. So I remember I was a junior in high school, and I say Aaron was throwing a party.
What's up, Aaron?
It was like because he does like freestyle motocross and stuff like that. So it was like his boys. It wasn't at his dad's house, but it was really close around here. But I don't remember where. But it was like the first time I ever had like drinks. Like I remember like it's
Was
like,
I there?
No,
Aw,
it was just Aaron and I, and then like a bunch of his writing buddies and like stuff like that. I think his girlfriend at the time, whose name escapes me. But it was cool, but it's like
Not a name dropper.
No, I don't remember her name, but it's just like, she's like, I remember my first beer. It's like, I do. And it's like, that was it, and I had fucking 3 of them, and I was over the moon, and I didn't feel good, and stayed the night at the house or whatever. And I had a phone. I had a phone, but it was always taken from me. Like, it was weird. Like, my punishments were so weird at my dad's house because it was like, we're going to take your phone away, but you could still go out. So if something bad happens while you're out, you don't have a phone to call us. You know what I mean? And I think that I used that as an excuse to have a beer because it was like, okay, well, they won't be calling me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, I don't have to be like, hello. You know what I mean? So I woke up the next day and I came home and my dad gives me my phone and I have like 9 missed calls
From
my girlfriend. And I remember just like that. This is how bad I am with memory. And to all ex-girlfriends listening and all future ones that might, my Achilles heel is I am so bad with memory. So bad. And that's why my New Year's resolution last year was to literally, I put it on my calendar. It said, write it down. So now I use my iPhone calendar for everything. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm so glad you said that, like, you talked about like like how big you were 2 years ago. I literally put that on my calendar to talk about because I wanted to talk about it, but you said it first. You know what I mean? Like, so I have to write it down.
I get it.
But anyway, so I get like 9 missed calls from her, and let me back it up. So I come home and my dad's like, dude, and I was like, what? He goes, your girlfriend showed up last night. I was like, why? And he's like, I don't know, but like she had like a bunch of like get well soon care package stuff, and I was like what? Like she's like she had like soup. And like,
were you sick?
So then I remembered. I told her that I couldn't hang out with her that day because I was sick. But I really wanted to go to that party.
That's funny.
And I knew that her mom would not let her go to that party with me. And it just wasn't worth the headache. You know what I mean? Because she was a good girl.
Well, you can't go if I'm not. If I
no,
can't
no, no,
go.
no, no, no. But I'm just saying, like in my head, I think the way I looked at it, I was just like, okay, like she was raised up very, religious and stuff like that. She was a super good girl. Like, she never interested in like drinking or smoking or anything like that.
Really?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Yeah, I know, right? You would never. I mean, it's always those girls who dress like just like super scene queen that were also just like, are those drugs? That's bad for you. You know what I mean? Like, so, but anyways, so then I get my phone and I see all the missed calls.
Yeah.
And I was in trouble. That's just what it was. I lied to her, so that sucked. But I will never forget the lesson to be learned from that. Cause she was just like, I hope you feel like shit. Like, I hope that like you're all hungover and stuff like that. And I'm just like, okay, I'm sorry. Again, all well deserved. It was a dick move.
Yeah.
But she goes, well, we're still gonna hang out. Like, no. Like, she was like, we're still gonna hang out like tomorrow or somewhere. I was like, yeah. And she's like, fuck with me. She's like, are you sure? Like, are you sure? I was like, yes, yeah. And
you're not gonna be sick again.
I'm like getting ready to go over there to her house, and I had her mom's phone number for some reason, and her mom was like, can you go on the way over to the house? Can you stop by like there's like a convenience store. She's like, can you stop? And it was like a Walgreens. She was like, can you get like a loaf of bread for me and I'll pay you money? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem, whatever. Weird, but sure.
A loaf of bread.
Yeah, like she needed one. And I was just like, okay, whatever. And I don't know to this day if this was part of like the bit, but like I knock on the door and her mom answers, but like she's like not like she answers it, but she answers it like the door opens and she's like this. And I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm here. She goes, what's up? And I was like, here to see your daughter. And she's like, oh, she's not here. And I was like, oh, okay. Like, so do I just come back? like do I? You get where this is going?
Yeah.
And I was just like, but like, I'm not taking the bait.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because again, this is my other Achilles heel is that I'm such a fucking dope, and like
she fucking played you.
No. She was there.
Oh.
She was there.
Oh, okay.
That was the thing, is that she was mad that I stood up her daughter
she,
and lied.
had her mom. She set her mom up. Like,
I don't know if she did to this day. I've never asked her like if it was her idea or her mom's idea. I'm almost positive it was her mom's idea.
But was her mom in on it?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That her mom opened the door.
Yeah, but I'm saying like she could have taken her mom's phone and been like, "Hey, can you give me a loaf of bread?"
Yeah, I don't know. Like to this day, but I was just like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "How's that feel?" I was like, "What?"
Wait, her mom said that to you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And I was like, "What?" She goes, "How's that feel?" And I was like, Well, I mean, I'm not giving into this. And like it's not because I'm not trying to like let her win. It's because I'm just so stupid and oblivious that I'm just like, what's the big fucking deal?
What's going on?
Yeah, you know what I mean? And she was just like, it was just really crappy, like what you did the other day.
Ugh,
and I was
her
just
mom
like,
was in her shit like that.
yeah.
Ugh.
And I was just like, okay, well, is she here or not? Because I mean, here's your fucking bread, and I'll just go. Like, I'll just,
I just
yeah, you know. Aaron was there with me actually. He has a really good, funny side of that story too. I'd love to get his side on, but because he dropped me off there. But yeah, like that's the weird shit that it's just like I've always like ever since that I was just like, what a weird like lesson. Like I understand what I did was mean, but like that's a little silly.
that's not a lesson. I would have walked away.
Yeah, I mean I was, but like I was said, I was like close to doing it, but it wasn't because I was like annoyed. I was just like, oh,
okay. And
yeah,
I was
like,
just
well,
left.
Here's your bread, and just tell her to call me
Nah,
when she's
don't
back
let
home.
them know, buddy.
Yeah,
Don't let
so-
them know that they're teaching you lessons.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my story. But yeah, I just feel so bad because it is hard, like sometimes dealing with me because I am so forgetful and just.
I feel like it kind of played in your favor there, honestly.
What do you mean?
Because, like you said, like you were just oblivious to the whole thing, so it's like they weren't getting their little
Right,
their little
like-
gotcha, you know?
Right. And like what was funny is that it's just like she was trying so hard to like because obviously we hung out that day,
Yeah.
and she was just like huffing and puffing about it, and I'm just like, so like, what do you want to? You want to hang out? Like, where do you want to go? You want to go for a walk? You want to
Yeah.
like?
yeah.
And again, I want to make it very clear. I'm not pretending like I don't know. I just didn't care. like I was just such like a, and so that's where I say like I was so emotionally immature that it didn't resonate with me why she was upset.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, I was just like, I'll see her later. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
because we were like in high school.
That's
you know,
some old shit. What
Yeah.
are you mad about?
right, right. And I think she was also mad because like I was like and being just the dope that I am, I've always just been like in those situations I've always been just so brutally honest, even when like sometimes like it's okay to maybe not, you know. Like I
Yeah.
told her I was just like, she's like, well, what'd you even go do? And I was like, oh, I went to a party.
Fuck some bitches.
No.
You know.
You know, the usual. But I was just like, oh, you know, I went to a party and, you know, hung out with Aaron's friends and family. I had a couple beers, and she's like, she's like, what? It's like you were drinking, you know what I mean? And I was just like, you're not supposed to be mad at me about this. You're 17 with me. Like,
Hey, shut up.
yeah, like what?
Fucking narc.
Yeah. I remember the first time I smoked weed ever. I came home and I told my mom, and I was just like, I'm sorry, I smoked weed. Like, I just was like so guilty. Like,
I don't even remember the first time I smoked weed. I do. I was crossfaded though.
there is a YouTube video of me
Oh,
on
shit.
YouTube of smoking weed for the first time. I know I've played it 100%. I've played it on the show before.
Really?
So for people who have been listening for a while, there's your.
I ain't
just
even been listening that long.
I just fucked up. I just picked my scab on my tattoo.
I know, and I saw like a bunch of blood on your hand.
Yeah, it sucks.
Jacob's bleeding.
Yeah, I'm bleeding. Told you it's right on the brim of his glasses too. Ooh, that's a lot. Let's take a break.
All right, and we're back.
I'm good, guys. Don't worry. I had to patch it up. real
Jacob
quick.
passed out. It's actually been 2 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel so bad, dude. I've been getting just yatted up recently, and I am like just tattooed, and like I'm
Oh.
so bad at just picking my shit. It's
Yeah.
so bad. Ugh, I hate it. It's a cool piece though.
Look at you picking at it right again.
No, I'm
Stop
not
it.
picking. I'm just looking at it. I'm just looking at it.
Stop it.
You want it was something so gross when I was getting the tattoo on my leg.
Mm-hmm.
After because they have like that second skin stuff. I remember
Mm-hmm.
the day I used to have. I mean, you're gonna know where this is going, but I used to have white sheets on my bed. And I remember I woke up the next day and it was just like gunk all over, dude. It looked so gross.
Oh,
It was all like, yeah, dude. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna change the sheets on these. Like, no more white sheets. Like, that's so gross.
don't wear white sheet. Don't get white sheets ever.
Why?
What kind of psychopath has white sheets?
I think a lot of people have white sheets. I bet you we could find the most sane person and ask them what color are your sheets.
White sheets make me feel like I'm in a sanatorium.
White sheets show me that you care about your cleanliness. Black and gray sheets make me think that you're lazy because they.
I just know sometimes I don't give a fuck. You know, some days I'm like, my body hurts. I was working on my car. I'm gonna go to sleep with all this fiberglass all over me. You know?
like a coal miner. He's
Yeah.
just in and out of the mine. I
Yeah.
don't give a fuck what's in my lungs.
Yeah, my eyes are gonna fucking burn like hell tomorrow.
You know, having our Halloween party come up.
Halloween party.
That's gonna be fun.
That will be fun.
Next episode is the costume episode. It sucks. I'm gonna let you know that it sucks really bad. I thought that if I stopped drinking on the show and started getting high on the show, then maybe I'd be a little. And we've had some bangers. Don't get me wrong. Episode 55 will always and forever be my favorite episode we ever shot. That was the one where we talked about the golden Jesus, the golden bike Jesus, and like the cryptid that you saw by like your old apartment.
Was that 55? I thought that was 54.
Fuck you.
Well, if people want to go watch it, hold on a second. I'll fucking tell you.
God, the fucking nerve.
Hold on. Let me go check our fucking...
No, Jacob, it's the fucking one right before it. Now I'm gonna look because you pissed me off.
55. You're right.
Okay, thank you.
I just want to make sure. They're
It's
gonna
on
watch, they're gonna watch episode 54 and see fucking what? They're gonna watch episode 54 and see load
It's okay. We'll all wait for this.
and see you in a fucking Raiders gear.
Oh yeah, that was when I had high hopes for the season this year. Yeah, I knew that was gonna
traditional Raiders fashion.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna age horribly. That's so bad.
You're a Raider.
There you go.
Let me find it.
Load it up.
I'll give you one.
Give me one. Yeah. Yeah. So like, I enjoy. It's just what it was. Like I'm not gonna give away like too much of it, you know. Like, but I won't say like what. But you have a mask.
Yeah.
And
I could tell you were getting kind of tripped out by
right.
that.
And so it's just like I was telling Christian. So we actually had to do these kind of in reverse. So we recorded this season 2 finale 2 days ago, and we're doing this one. This is so like this.
Yeah,
is,
these are they're flip flops. So this is actually taking place after the Halloween episode.
But we had to do the Halloween episode for the sake of time because we
Right.
have the party on Saturday.
Right.
But the costume that you have, like, it's because when we do this show, I look at you and it's just like, if Christian has a face of, let's move on, it's time to move on.
Yeah.
If you're loving it, I'm gonna keep fucking
Right,
milking
right.
that teat. You know what I mean? Well, if I'm saying
Gross.
if I'm saying a joke or something like that, and I look over and it's just a blank expression, I was just like, all right, oh, give me something else. So
How high were you?
I was pretty up there. I was up there. You know what it was too, is I didn't really eat anything that day.
I was thinking about just like starting to really fuck with you and just being like,
It's Jacob, why Jacob,
yeah, just like fake English. Like,
So I always say, like, there's so many times where I look at our videos, I'm like, oh, that sucked. But I get a lot of awesome feedback from you guys. But I am gonna say that I hate that I'm underselling episode 60 already. But I'm just like, it's not my
you know
best.
what makes me mad about that?
What?
Well, not mad, but it's like after we were done recording the episode and we were just chilling, like we got on a conversation about how,
So good.
and that would have been great
So
for the
good.
episode.
Dude, we do this all the fucking time. Dude, I'm gonna get to a point where like if this keeps going the way that it's supposed to be going, I'm gonna start giving you contracts that say you and I cannot fucking talk unless there's a microphone, because I know exactly what you're talking about. It's because you
'Cause
know
we talked for like 2 hours.
We had good discussions on the show, but you could tell that there were lulls in the
Yeah.
conversation. But after that show, because I was nice, and you know what the secret is? I think we need to start recording when my come down's happening.
Like right after you
Right,
peak.
because
like,
you know when I'm coming down, because I do that thing where I'm just like, in all honesty, man, like I really do think that, like, I, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And
Yeah.
But I get really focused. You know,
Yeah.
we had a really cool conversation about drugs.
Yeah.
and like I was like, fuck, like I was like,
I thought
God,
the same thing. I was just like, that should have been the episode.
I
Fuck.
know, dude. It
In
was so
costumes,
bad.
just talking about drugs, that would have been sick.
This is what I'm saying, dude. Honestly, you know what we need to do is we need to just fucking keep the mics on, honestly, because every time we do this show, you hang out for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm saying that like we need like a premium show where it's like, okay, everything
extended
is
version?
but it's just like audio. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just the audio,
Right.
And it's just like, it's not even like a scheduled show. It's literally just us. Like we could be fucking having snacks or like something.
yeah,
like
but
that.
do you want to edit all that shit?
No, but I'm saying like the only thing that we couldn't do is just like show each other memes back and forth. But it's just like the conversations that we have on the like after the show. It's our post coital conversations. Like
Just our pillow talk.
yeah, you know what I mean. And they get so good and like just not intense, but just like deep. Sometimes I'm just like fuck.
Well, I bring that up because we were talking about drugs. Well,
Yeah.
weed mostly.
Weed, yeah. I want to make it very clear. Christian and I are super
I'm
nerds.
getting a little into meth lately.
yeah,
and-
we're not even like psychedelics or like
No.
yeah, just weed, but we
And it's
call it
mostly
drugs.
him. I don't really do anything, but I did.
Hey,
the
don't
other
put
day.
this on me.
Jacob does drugs. I don't do no drugs.
Fat people don't do drugs. Look at what happened to Chris Farley.
Yeah, so like that night we had a conversation and I went home and asked my roommate if I could smoke a little bit, and She did. I didn't take much. I took like 3 hits off of her little bubbler, whatever the fuck you call those things.
Yeah. It was a little tiny one, right?
No, it's like this tall.
But there's water in it.
Yeah.
As a bubbler.
Okay. Yeah, so I took like 3 hits off of that. And by the way, she's, for those of you who know her, the worst person to get high with. Okay? Just don't do it. She's gonna fuck with you. She's gonna stare at you like you're doing something super crazy when you're not. Right? So this is what I wanted to talk about because
That's okay.
number one, I'm like, she's like, oh, hey, can you go rinse this out for me? And I'm like, okay, where does the water come out? You know, and she's like, it comes out of there, right? And she points to like where the little bowl sits, right? And I'm like, okay. And I like turn it over and the water doesn't come out. And I'm just like, you know, and the water's not coming out. So I'm just like, I don't think that's right. And I was like, have you ever washed this thing? She was like, no. I was like, so you don't even know if this is where the water's supposed to come out or if it's going to come out? She was like, no.
Just wanted to tee-hee. Gotcha.
Yeah. And then I was like, well, the water's coming out of the mouth part, so that's where the water's going out of. And she's like, no. She's like, now it's going to taste like shit.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, well, you should have done this. I was like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right.
You know? So I do it and I rinse it out a couple times, whatever. Get it started. I take a hit. She takes a hit. Back and forth. Like I said, I took like 3 hits.
Mm-hmm.
And we're talking, and I swear to fucking God, and I talked to her about this after the fact, and she was such a dick about it. But like, I swear to God, the first conversation she starts was just something like, "What was the worst panic attack you've ever had?"
Oh my God.
Fucking right.
You know, in 2006, I killed a guy.
Yeah, I'm already like a pretty paranoid person.
Yeah.
And she's just like, yeah, what's the worst panic attack you've had? I'm like, I don't want to think about that. And she's like, mine happened at a show. She's like, and this was happening. And she told me all this stuff. And then she told me a story about how her other friend was like in the hospital and like just stuff like I didn't want to talk about. I was just like, fuck.
Right.
Man.
This sucks. Like this is your stoner conversation.
Yeah. And then when I was like at my most high, I sent you a text.
Yeah.
And I was just like, remind me to talk about how
Yeah.
how she talks about ridiculous shit when other people are high.
She admitted to me that she liked when I got high because like she liked to get me stupid high just so I could make her laugh with how stupid I was. And I was just like, what a Dahmer thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yes.
and you know, I will say that for someone that likes to fuck with people when they're stoned, her stoned is. I feel like when we ever went out in public, like whenever I went out in public with her, like when she was stoned, like I needed to give her one of those like child like leashes.
She's just all over the place.
Not that she was all over the place, but it's just like she was like a baby in a construction site. And I remember I would get frustrated because this was like the epicenter of COVID. This was like March 2020, where everyone's like, "Don't fucking come near me."
Yeah.
You know? I was like, I really want to just order our groceries, and she was just like, "Ah, but you know, it costs money." But you know, it's like, okay, let's just fucking in and out. Which it was really funny because this was also before like the immediate availability of like masks.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just dress in all black always.
Yeah.
But like I had like my black beanie on, black sunglasses, and then we just wore black bandanas.
Sick.
So we just looked like Banditos, you know what I mean? But we're in Walmart and we needed Swiffer pads. That's what she said. She's like that's what she meant to say. I'm a little stoned. I don't like to get like that when I'm in public because then shut it down. You know, but we're in there. And look, you know me. Sometimes I get I get a little bit angry for no reason. You know what I mean? I just tend to pop off for no reason. But it drove me insane because I hate that we're there. Like I'm one of those dudes. I'm like, oh my God, COVID's gonna be the end of the fucking world. Like I don't want anyone near me.
Yeah.
And so I just want to get in and out. And I'm just like, boom, 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 boom. Okay, what else we need? Boom, 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 boom. And right at the end, two things.
Oh.
No, just one because this was actually a different person. So never mind. But she goes, just like this. She goes, before we go, we need to get the mop.
Oh my God.
And I got so mad.
Oh, dude, that would
no.
drive
You know what
me
I did?
nuts,
You know what I
huh?
did? I went what? Just like that. Like I fucking yelled. I was so pissed. I looked right at her and I was like, "What?" And then of course she's like,
I do that to her too, dude.
Yeah.
I
And
do
I was
the
just like,
same
dude,
thing.
like I'm done with this. So for someone who likes to fuck with people when they're like, you are frustrating sometimes.
No, yeah.
Like,
The other day, not too long ago, I think, she was like gonna watch like the new like House of Dragons or whatever that show's called.
yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me know when it's done because I want to play my video games out here.
Yeah.
And she was just like, all right, fine. And I like went to my room and I was like, I'm gonna shower, whatever. And I went to go shower. Or I didn't actually shower. I just like was in my room for a little bit, just like on my phone, and then I came back out. And then I think what she said was, like something like, "Don't worry, it's almost over," right? But I didn't. It was like, no, and I was just like, what? And I stood there very obviously just like, what? And she's just like, not looking at me, watching TV,
Oh, that's annoying.
you know? And I was like, Kendra, what? And same thing, just
Yeah.
Kendra. It's Kendra.
She's a special lady for sure.
And then I'm just fucking staring at she's staring at the TV. And I was like, what? Same thing.
Yeah.
What? You know? And then she's just like, no. I'm like, oh my God. I need to walk away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Look, she has her moments and she is really fun to smoke with, but there's sometimes I'm just like, dude,
She's one of my favorite people. Okay, I'll
Yeah,
say that.
yeah.
She's definitely one of my favorite people because I feel like her and I connect on a lot of stuff. This is gonna sound kind of funny. Just because like of all of our friends, I feel like she and I had a very similar like upbringing, you know? Not just, I mean, you and I did too, but like also the fact that she's also like Hispanic, like I am. You know, so a lot of like we connect on like a lot of like stuff from like our childhoods and stuff. Like we lived in similar types of neighborhoods, like even when we were kids, and like we had like similar like elementary school experiences and shit. So it's like she and I can connect on a lot of stuff that like I can't connect on, like even with you on some things, you know. So it's like I hold her friendship pretty dear to me. So it's like I don't know if she's gonna watch this. She apparently doesn't watch the show, but if she does for whatever reason, like,
you want to hear something super cynical? Speaking of that, is that because I have a lot of people, like especially like at work and stuff like that, be like, "Oh, I love the show" and stuff, and just to like not quiz them, but I'll be like, "Oh, like I said, like this in this episode," and they're always like, "Oh, I think I missed that one," and I'm just like, "You funker," you know what I mean? Like, because everyone's just like, "Oh, I love the show," and it's just like anytime I ever mention it, they're like, "I don't remember that one." There's only 2 people I know in this, 3 people I know in this world that watch the show like every single episode, every single minute. And for you 3, thank you.
I'm sure they get shout outs.
I've said their names so many times, but I've got Kevin the Superfan in California. I got Cruz in Utah. I got Steven in New Mexico, and in local Arizona, I got Courtney, and Courtney watches every episode.
Yeah.
From start to finish.
And Melissa.
Melissa
Watches it with her baby.
It's really funny because you were just like, because like multiple times you'll be like, you guys may know, and it's just like, are you gonna do that when we're at like 600,000 subscribers? Just like, oh, you're gonna talk to about our local hometown stories. You're gonna be like, you guys know what I'm talking about, but only now like less than 50 of them like get it, but all other 650,000 is like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
Yeah, you know who I'm talking about.
yeah.
It might work. I feel like we've all had crazy exes.
I don't know, man. I'm ready to move on up to the east side after my rant on YouTube. I might have to cut this project altogether and just.
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's crazy.
The nerds, man.
The nerds are passionate. You know,
They're
to be
powerful.
fair, that was a very passionate subject.
It was an awesome video. I'll say that.
Thank you, buddy.
It was a very good video.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I literally woke up. I remember that day. Like I woke up and I just looked at my phone. I saw the news and I was like, oh hell no. And like I set up my camera. Like that was like and it worked, you know. So I like to hope that that video brings in, or just kicks in the door for the show.
It's already it's I don't want to say it because I feel like it's gonna jinx us, but that video has already surpassed like I think our entire views for the
100%. So we have
tenfold.
64 videos on our YouTube channel, and on average we get up anywhere between, I would say 55 and 80 views on our on our podcast.
Yeah.
But that video I think currently right now is at like 2,300 views. Maybe it's you.
Maybe it's me. Fuck.
You're the reason, man.
I could talk about magic. What do you want me to do? You want me to shake my ass?
Is this what you like?
You like that?
No, I think it was just, but that's what you were saying though, is it's because it was such a like.
It was because
there was a subject.
The video is called Magic the Unaffordable.
Yeah.
If you want to go and watch it, and I'm sure Jacob will probably plug a link there for you. But It is an incredibly good video. Like even if like you haven't seen it and you like magic, like it's about the new what is it?
It's just a cash cow or cash grab that they're doing, and it just
Soulless cash grab.
Yeah,
by
and it's just
Wizards of the Coast.
been playing this game forever, and it's just like even now. I mean, this has gone back to things that we've talked about numerous times. It's not just this game I can't afford. I can't fucking afford life. But I mean, what little pleasures I have in this world are becoming unaffordable, whatever. So that's why, you know who I wanted to sponsor on our show? Not fucking sponsored, but dude, shout out Klarna, because I will always say Klarna's the reason why I was able to get so much production value on this show. Literally, dude, I would just eat ramen noodles every other week, and I would just get boom, boom, boom sections of payments. And
we
I'm
are
just like,
definitely underqualified for the equipment that we have.
right. Oh, 100%. But that was like my thing, is because I do have people asking me, and like some guy like I met at a show was just like, oh, I've seen a couple episodes. I'm not trying to be like a dick, but it's just like you guys have like 150 subscribers, but your content is like just like it's different, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's, and I was just like, oh, I mean, that was my whole goal, is that it's just like I really did the show because I wanted to prove to people that, like, because I had friends when I was in California, and like I would meet like open micers that was like, oh, I have a podcast with my buddy, we've been doing it for 6 years, and it's just like I go to their house and I'm just like, oh, let me see your setup. It's literally a fucking old HP laptop and a fucking Yeti mic. And it's just like, and they put it in the middle of the room, and it's like you hear it, and you're just like, hello, welcome to episode 33. You know what I mean? It's just like
you peaked so hard.
yeah, I know, that was the point. But it's just like, you know, it's so like. Then I was just like, that sucks. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like, so it's like I would have I wanted to just hit the ground running.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I have a blast doing this. You know,
No, it's fun.
I was one of those old boomers though that was definitely like,
This is what I do instead of therapy.
well, stop.
You guys are my therapy.
I was always under the assumption like, oh, who watches the videos? You know what I mean? Like, because I never did, like, because I was working, you know, so I just put it down. But I enjoy it. I enjoy the setup. I enjoy the lights. It's
fucking sick.
yeah, it is really cool. You know, and so I just want to keep doing this. Obviously, I want like other cameras and stuff like that. But one thing I'll apologize for, and this is something that I know that, I mean, it takes no rocket scientist to see, and you guys at home will see this too, that if you watch the show on YouTube, there was a good chunk, like I think video was introduced in like the episode 30s.
Something like
I
that.
think, yeah, about the 30s. And now granted, I was in an apartment at the time, but like even if you look at like episode like 49 to now, like I finally agreed with like okay, this is what we're going to do moving forward for camera angles. And I know it drove you insane because I mean, you remember the apartment, you'd come in sometimes and like, what did I have, like the
There would
couch?
be a couch like on the wall. And,
yeah, like every time it was moved differently.
Yeah.
So it's
I mean, I get it. You know, like you're experimenting with stuff and
Yeah.
trying to see with what works.
I think
better.
so far this is my favorite setup.
It's the easiest way to go.
Yeah.
You know?
It does. I mean, no, because when we had Kaya on, that was a pretty good camera angle.
Yeah, but that was just this with
the only thing
Kaya right here.
Yeah, the only thing I felt bad about though is like in that like the way that it looked is like it's just straight up just like. So unfortunately, one thing I wanted to bring up too is that we were really excited to have Christian's buddy on, and he unfortunately had to cancel. But we'll have him on eventually. But I was gonna say like, God, like I was looking at the episode with me, you, and Kaya, and I was like, that's such like an intimidating place to put our guest, like right in the middle. Like it's such a like a fucking casting couch like situation where it's just like we're like right here. It's like I think
So like what I was actually just about to say. So like you remember like a few episodes back when we were doing the split screen thing.
yeah.
So I think we should probably do that for when we have a guest.
Okay, so it's like
And
the
I
two of
don't-
us on one side, and then,
I don't know if I want to do it that way, like with you and me on one shot and then the guest in the other, or if maybe it's like you want to be with the guest and I'm on the other end, but it's like a split shot, you know, so it doesn't look as like.
yeah, just you
Yeah.
know, just yeah.
But no, I think at least for guests, that's how we should do it.
Yeah. Well, the way that we should do it is I should have my own goddamn place. I feel so bad being here sometimes.
Don't start with that.
Oh no. I just feel bad, like because it's just like it's so funny because everyone's like, because you know I always try to make light of a situation, but it's just like I had to, you know, move back in with my mommy, and I'm the fucking, you know, now
As we do.
Yeah, now I'm the basement dweller. You know what I mean? Just like now we're on thing.
Literally, yeah.
I just feel bad because God bless my mom. It's just like she has such an awesome feng shui and stuff like that, and it's just like I just wish I had my own place to like.
And we fuck it all up every time we set
and
up.
so it's like we were having conversations about this like the other day where it's like I wish we could just like, fuck it, dude. We'll just live in a cramped 2-bedroom apartment, just never have anyone over. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just like just the studio. You know what I mean?
We can have
Like,
people over. We just, fucking, hey, like,
yeah.
we have people over coming over today. Like, shove everything in the other room.
Yeah, and then just roll it back out when everyone
Yeah,
leaves. Yeah,
exactly.
essentially. No, I'm talking like I would use like these lights as like our home lights. You know what I mean? Like just because it's like fuck it, I don't want to put them away.
The
Like,
theme is podcast.
yeah, there we go. Just home studio. That's like the thing that I love though. It's like don't get me wrong, the green screen's cool and everything. I think like the green screen once I finally learned how it worked was a perfect setup.
Oh yeah.
Like a perfect like that's a cool backdrop. But I see some shows where it's just like I want like the neon sign and I want like the cool brick and I want
Ah, man, that reminds me that I still got to make all this stuff. Fucking Dungeon Dwellers might be delayed because fucking nobody.
Yeah, no one's gonna hit us up about that until we're famous, and then they're gonna try to ride those coattails.
I know.
Now I want to be on
You're
the
gonna
show.
wait for us to be famous. Shame on you.
Yeah, but
Get famous with us.
Yeah, exactly. See?
If you're on Dungeon Dwellers, right, and we start going viral.
No, you
and
can't
you're on
be on the
mo-
show. You
and
stay.
you're-
No, you stay.
And
in
you're on the
Dungeon
best episodes. Yeah, but we could have like recurring party members and stuff.
Yeah,
Whatever.
but yeah, I want like a cool. Like I just like I think about like the cool setup and like all the cool stuff I want. I'm just so impatient with this show. The show is my fucking love child. You know what I mean? Like I like live, breathe. Like this show is fucking my favorite thing in the universe, and it's just like I'm so happy with like all the equipment that I have.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to do more and more. Like you know what I mean?
Let's do more and more.
We're doing good. We kept to the schedule. Even though I was a super sleepy guy, we still
I
came
fucking
over.
showed up and Jacob was like, "Oh, buddy, I didn't know you were coming."
You didn't even text me though.
You literally the last
You
words I
didn't
spoke to
text me,
you. The
bro.
last word you spoke to me was like, "All right, go drop off your son. And I'll see you after." And I was like, "All right."
You didn't.
And then I just showed
text
up, and
me.
you were like, "Oh, I didn't know you were coming."
You didn't.
Why? We had already made the
text
plans.
me, bro.
We had already made the plans.
I was sleepy.
That's why we're drinking coffee, because Jacob had to wake the fuck up.
Yeah, I'm so bad, dude. I'm such an old man, dude. Like, I don't know what it is. I used to like get mad at you because it's just like, I can't believe this guy sleeps all day and stays up all night. I know it's for work and stuff like that, but like, I used to be like, oh, well, just like enjoy your time and then get a good night's sleep. But now, dude, it's like I'm worse than that. Now it's like, dude, once 8:30 hits, I'm ready for memes,
See,
bro.
I wish I was like that.
I'm ready for straight la la ZZ land, dude. Like I'm ready to go to bed at 8:30.
Yeah, I wish I could do that.
Yeah,
I woke up at 10 today.
that's good.
That's better.
That's good. No, that's good. That's why I say like in situations where we have to record and you're not hanging out with your son, like that's why like I would do anything to get you over here at like 11 in the in the morning. You know what I mean? Like just because I'm just like I'm up, and it's just like it just sounds.
I like
awesome.
ending my day with the podcast though.
I don't, because I'm the one that's got to stay up and fucking upload the footage. This job ends for you when you leave that door.
Why don't you just do it in the morning?
Because I have to fucking post it by Friday, and I have to work tomorrow.
It's Wednesday, my guy. You
Yeah.
just deal with that in the morning.
I can't.
All right.
Remember what happened the 2 times where I was just like I was delayed and I had to
Yeah.
my day's ruined. Like I hate it so much, especially because again, God bless our super fans. I also forgot Camacho, who loves to message me and says, "Where episode?"
Damn, Camacho that whole time was just like, what the fuck?
Yeah. He's like, "Where's the episode?" Like, because he's up at midnight and he's like, "Dude, I literally refresh my computer at midnight." Like, and like he's like, I waited till like 2 a.m. and I was just like, "Where?"
Thanks, bro.
Yeah, good guy. But we're not gonna stop doing this. I don't want to stop doing this.
I don't either, man. I'm hoping it really takes off into something.
Yeah, maybe.
We were spitballing ideas the other day.
Yeah, we will. And we're gonna keep those on the fucking hushity hush. But
Gotcha.
we're getting there. I want to make the best content that I can for you guys, and I want to enjoy it. I always enjoy it. I feel like I learn something new every time we do this show. Like the Halloween episode. I got too high. Like that was it. I can get high. I can get high and have good giggles. That was a little
I would
bit too
love
high.
to do an episode high just because
That'd be fun.
dude, I don't know what it is with me, man. Maybe I'm just a super fucking lightweight when it comes to that. Like those 3 hits that I took off her bong, like 20 minutes in, dude, I was like, what the fuck am I?
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you never really got into that, other than her like freaking you out or anything. How did you feel?
It's like I would like you said, like couch lock. Like I would sitting at the dining table. She was on the couch and we were just talking. And I know that I was being very like, I was like kind of like, what do you call it? Like receding into myself, you know. And I'll like pull out my phone just to kind of like
Look like you're doing something.
well that, and that's like when I texted you and shit. And I was like trying to look at my like. Cause I don't know. It's so funny because like I feel like when I talk about it, I sound like such a. I mean, I am like such a noob.
Well, you are. You don't ever
You know?
smoke weed, but that's
I don't
okay.
ever do it. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
just
okay.
like it was so funny, just like going through my phone and then just being like, "What's real right now?" You know, and then finally like just getting the courage to just be like, "All right, I'm going to bed," you know, and then just be like, "Okay, I hope my legs are still there."
How'd you sleep?
I had really vivid, violent dreams.
Violent.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe it just isn't for you, man.
You know what? It's actually crazy. I had a dream when I was that night. I had a dream. I'm surprised I remember it. Where like I forget what I did. I like tattooed someone or something. That's how I know that shit's stressing me out because I'm having dreams about tattooing.
Yeah.
Right. So I was tattooing someone, and then like someone's mom or something came in and was like, "Hey, stop tattooing him. You suck," or something like that. Right.
No.
And I was just like, what? I was like, he paid for it. Like, you know, something like that. And then, like, she brought someone else with him, like some other tattoo
Some
artist.
backup.
Yeah. No, it was like another tattoo artist who was just like, yeah, I should be tattooing him. Like, I'm better, blah, 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 blah. And then he showed off like all his tattoos.
Is it good?
Yeah. And I was just like, that's weird. And then I ended up fighting this guy.
Oh.
Just
Like you dreamed this?
yeah.
How
That's what I'm
weird.
saying. It was so vivid. Like, I was like, oh my God. Like, I woke up and I was just, it was one of those like,
Oh my god.
yeah.
That's funny.
But yeah. And then I mentioned like that I went to bed and I like put on Dexter's Laboratory. You know what I actually was watching before Dexter's Laboratory?
What?
And it was actually really nice to watch while I was high. Primal.
Oh, that's a cool show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that
I don't know
show.
what it was. I think it was because there was no talking, you know? And it's just a lot of nature noises and like dinosaurs and stuff. And I was like watching, I was just feeling it, dude. And then I put on Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah. All right, I'm done feeling. I want to laugh now.
Yeah, and I thought it was funny because like just so happens like the episode that comes on, like I was telling you earlier, like it was the episode where it's like a Dexter opera.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so like the whole episode's like a musical. And I was just like I was like, is this me or is this really a musical episode?
Right.
Or am I just thinking it is?
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
So-
But that's why I get worried, man, because it sounds like you didn't enjoy it.
It's like I enjoyed some parts of it. I didn't enjoy other parts.
Do you think the things that she said definitely like were like contested?
Fuck yeah,
to,
they fucked with me a
So
little
like,
bit.
okay, so do you feel
Yeah.
like it would have been maybe different if she didn't say those things?
It's because you know this is another thing because I feel like I feel like she's watching me, and she knew that, and she was making it worse. She kept doing this thing where she would get her phone, and she'd be like, "It's 2 a.m. Christian is disconnecting from reality," and like 15 minutes later, I'd just be like, "What did you say?" She'd be like, "It's 2:30 a.m. Christian's becoming forgetful." You know, she would do
Like,
stuff
she, like you're just the fly. Like,
yeah. And I was just like, stop it. Like, please stop.
yeah, that's. I mean, I'm sure it was all in good fun for her, but I mean, yeah,
It
I mean, you gotta.
It was fun. And then when I talked to her about it the next day, she was just like, it ain't that deep, bro. I was like, for me, it is.
Yeah, I mean, you just gotta address your opinion or your feelings. I mean, it's just like that. It just, you know, it's not for everybody. That's why I was saying it was just like that's why like I'm so curious to see if you actually ever do end up enjoying it. But I don't want you to just keep trying it and not liking it. And this is why I'm no seriously because I
Yeah,
well,
I
because
smoke
like,
weed. I fucking hate it.
yeah, well, no, because like weed smoke. I mean, every year we advance as a society, weed gets more common and common.
I know.
You
I
what
need some of that like 1970s ditch weed.
Yeah,
Like,
right. But like it's like the same thing with me now, where it's just like I went out and I had a blast with Justin, for drinks. I just feel like fucking garbage now, dude.
yeah.
Like I don't miss that feeling. I don't miss feeling drunk. Like I was like I left my car there. Like I didn't drive home. You know, obviously. Don't do that. But I was just like I like. I was having conversations okay. I remember we were about to leave, and I was like, "Hey man, can you give me a ride home?" He's like, "Yeah, no problem." And yeah, because he didn't drink that much. So that was the other thing is because he was like, "I'll give you a ride home," and I was like, "Wait a minute, like you've been like drinking. You okay?" Oh, like he's like, "You've been drinking." I was like, "Oh no, dude. Like I had that shot that I ordered us, and then I had like a beer. You know, I was like, okay, whatever." So I'm over here just you know, like
Yeah.
going crazy. But I look over at like the bartender and I was just like, can I leave my car here? And they were like, yeah, sure, that's fine. But what I said was like, I also have a car here. Like I could feel it. You know what I mean? Like it was so bad. Like I don't miss that. And I woke up this morning and I did nothing really that. I mean, I fell, but like other than that, I didn't like do anything embarrassing last night. But like that's all I think about now when I drink heavy. Like I'm just like, dude, that was probably such a fucking nightmare. Like I'm so insecure after a night of drinking. And I don't ever want to do it again.
But I think some of my favorite nights are nights that you and I were just so drunk.
Right, but I'm just saying, like, I'm just kind of like growing out of it. Like, it doesn't sound fun to me anymore. Like, it doesn't sound fun to me anymore.
I understand. I definitely don't drink nearly as much.
Honestly,
as I used to.
weed doesn't even sound that fun to me all the time. Like, because there are times, and I will say this, and I'll say this every time, is that the universe likes to play games with you, especially when you're on drugs.
Yeah.
Like and it's not something like it's not something that's intentionally meant to freak you out, but if you have just anxiety, which who the fuck doesn't,
Right.
it's just like little things like where if I'm at the peak, all it takes is like one person to text me something that I don't need to see right now, or like it's like I look at an email, like for example, like I lost my debit card, so it's like I've had to like I keep having to re-up all my subscriptions for like Netflix, Hulu, all that stuff. And so it's just like if I'm sitting there in my room, because I love being the most boring stoner of all time. Like my ideal,
I think I'm like you
Right.
because that's how I felt. Because Kendra continuing to talk to me was just like I was.
like if you're with me,
was
my
putting me
ideal
out for
situation is I want to just make sure we come to an understanding of what we want to watch on TV.
Yeah.
And I will not talk to you for 3 hours.
like probably one of the best memories I have being high was like I remember my brother. Well, okay, so like my sister had this party thing, right? And she had like a fuck ton of this like really good like pasta left over. Just 2 bowls, like 2 giant bowls of this pasta. Right? It was like catered pasta. It was delicious.
Yeah.
And my mom was like, take those home. Like, we're not going to eat it. Like, take it home. And me and my brother were just like, fuck yeah. This is when me and my brother lived at the old house. And we were like just sitting there. And I had just bought this day. And I didn't, it's like the universe was just like, you're going to have a great night. Because I was at Walmart and then I saw that they had the Dragon Ball GT box set.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, fuck. Like,
Yeah,
I
yeah,
was
right.
like-
So it's like that's like my thing too, is that it's just like when I'm at home and it's my day off, I have nothing. I have such good friends, and so because I don't, you know, I say I don't sleep, I do obviously, but it's just like every day, like most days when I'm awake, is just pure anxiety because I'm thinking.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I love the days where I'm just like, dude, shout out. Like I do have some really good friends that are just like, you need to do nothing today.
right.
Like you need to do absolutely nothing. And so there are times where it's like, so that's my thing, is that it's just like I can't go to like pot conventions like in like
No,
or like
I
like
think that shit's
like
ridiculous.
yeah, like I saw like there was some water park that like was like entertaining, like this whole like weed themed thing. And like I had a friend that went and she's got like a fucking like 2 blunts in her bra strap, she's got one in her ear, she's smoking one on this fucking lazy river. I'm like, that sounds fucking
That sounds
horrible.
horrible.
So it's just like there are days like my ideal situation, like this would I would almost even add this to like my perfect day, like that conversation where it's just like I take all I need is like 15 milligrams, so just even a little bit extra, but I have nothing to do that day. I'll just watch TV,
Yeah.
and just turn my fucking brain off. That's it. I don't look at my phone. Like it's just like, and that's like my ideal thing. Like I don't like smoking around a bunch of people. I don't even like drinking in front of a bunch of people anymore. You know what I mean? Like I just get like I don't know, man. Like it's maybe, I mean,
I think a lot of it has to do with just you really haven't had a chance to do it in a long time.
Well,
'Cause, like we haven't been to like a lot of parties lately. You know, a lot of it's because of COVID and shit. You know,
I thought it was just because I was getting older and it wasn't
no,
fun
I
to
think
me.
you need to stop chalking stuff up to getting older because it sounds like you're killing yourself before you actually die.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I just lose interest in it. Like, I don't get me wrong, I like a party. I just don't like a up all night party anymore. That's just not me. Like
I don't think you've ever liked an up all night party.
exactly. That's what I'm saying. So it's just like but like I think I've never talked about it on the show, but it's just like, you know, recent events have happened and they've been very life changing for me. You know what I mean? And I think maybe that, you know, but like I just might like. I think I was talking to you about it, or I asked you about it, but like my stuttering's coming back, and like weird little things like that, and
It's because you're not drinking as much.
because I got the shakes now because I'm not fucking drinking
I
anymore.
liked you better when you drank.
Yeah, because you're only fun when you drink. You know, so it's just like I'm in like this weird spot in my life where it's just like being lucid now is becoming more of a anxiety booster than it is a stress relief. Like this is like I was kind of like just
That's called alcoholism.
yeah. Well, no, I'm just saying like like because I don't have any interest. Like I only had those 2 beers today because you bought them. But I was just like, like I was like,
Really?
yeah, I was not interested at all. When you're like, can we get some beer? I was like, oh yeah, we can get some beer. Like I just wasn't interested. You know what I mean? But I was like writing down like just stupid bits,
Uh-huh.
and I was saying just like I think becoming an adult is really just relying on coffee and cigarettes to get you through the day.
That's
Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like I when I was a kid, like when I was in my early 20s, you know, it's just like Christian and I would polish off a fucking 30 rack of Rolling Rock in a night.
There
And it's
were
like,
some nights, dude, where I'm just like, I look back and I'm just like, how?
yeah. Oh, for
How
sure.
did we
oh,
do that?
Yeah, 100%. And it's just like I woke up today so hungover. I mean, okay, so my one problem is that I do mix my boozes, which is always bad.
Yeah.
But I did a shot because he bought me a shot. I had 2 vodka sodas and then I had 2 Guinnesses. But like 6 years ago,
Uh-huh.
I mean, you triple those numbers, I'm fucking
Right.
You know what I mean? But now it just sucks. But it's just like now it's just like I don't want a beer after work. I literally just want to make a nice cup of coffee and just sit outside. And anyone who smokes, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Where it's like it wasn't necessarily a bad day, but it's like that ritual where you just kind of you just light it.
Yeah.
It's
You got like the robustness from the coffee.
right, and you're
with,
just
the
like
cigarette.
the day's done.
Yeah.
It's now Jacob's time,
No, I feel that 100%. It's just like,
and I would rather do that than
it's a guaranteed unwind.
Yes.
Like,
I would
yeah.
rather do that than smoke weed or drink any kind of alcohol ever again. Like honestly, like I think that I don't think I'm never going to quit drinking. Like I don't think I'm ever going to be like sober.
Mm-hmm.
But I see myself like I let loose last night because I hadn't done it in a while,
Mm-hmm.
and I'll enjoy our party. You know, I'm not going to be like a
You haven't done it in a while.
I haven't.
You got drunk. You were just talking about how you got drunk like the week before.
No. Oh, in Vegas? Yeah, but I didn't even feel drunk. I just had morning beers. No, I was fucking drunk last night. You know what I mean?
Damn, dude.
And like I just had my Vegas morning beers for my birthday. But even then, like I had those beers and then I ate breakfast, felt great, and then I did drugs and went to Vegas. You know what I mean? Like, and I had more fun doing that. I don't know. Like it's just like. I think, you know what it is? I think I keep talking about it and going in circles about it is because I think I've put those pressures on myself and like our group of friends where I have always been like that Belushi of a friend. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like the fucking, like, I like people only want to hang out with Jacob when he's drunk because that's when he's fun.
That's not true.
I know it's not, but it's
You're
like,
always like, you're like, everybody knows you as like our funny friend.
yeah.
You know, not like this. He's a silly, goofy little guy. You know, just like yeah. No,
Really? You're
just,
mad at me? A goofy little silly guy?
Yeah. No. It's just like you've always just been funny. You know.
You know what sucks though? But you know what I do realize, and we've had conversations about this. This is where I'm at a peak because I want my friends to enjoy my company. And I always, and I will say this on record, I always enjoy my friends' company. But what is the biggest pet peeve of hanging out with Jacob?
I don't know.
It's I look like I have a schedule.
That okay. I was gonna say that, but I wasn't sure if that's where you're going. With
No,
it.
that's exactly where I'm
No,
going.
yeah. Jacob's like super anal about like his life
Time.
schedule about his time to the point where can I just
No, go ahead. That's fine.
to the point where like it'll be like, hey man, you wanna hang out today? And he'll be like, all right, I'll come over. What he'll do, which he'll do, is he'll be like, yeah, I'll come hang out for a little bit. And I know that's like just you being like a little bit, you know? And then I'm just like, okay, fine, whatever. Yeah, come over like around this time. And then you're like, okay, but I don't want to be there any later than 11. And then I'm just like, okay, that's fine. And then like around like 10 o'clock, you're just like, I think I got to start going.
Yeah.
You know, so it's like it sounds like we're gonna hang out all day, and then
yeah.
you just like slowly just like shave it off until you want to leave.
Your Honor, I have proof right now that like this conversation that we had this conversation like months ago.
Yeah.
I have proof right now from a few days ago. Actually, let's see. Okay, Kaya wants to hang out. If I leave to come over now, I would like to start heading home around 3:30. Is that okay? I might stay longer. Just depends on if my mom needs any help with anything. Okay. So then she just so happens to tell me that she has like a phone call she needs to make at 1:30. Okay. I say, did you finish your phone interview? She goes, it was at 1:30. I'll be done with it soon or whatever. And I'm like, okay. The point is that I'm getting to is that it's just like I don't know why I'm so obsessed with time. But I feel like it's just like it helps my, if I have a schedule, it helps my anxiousness.
I feel like it does the opposite. I feel like it makes you more anxious because you're putting a deadline in your head and you're all about deadlines.
And I think
you're
know,
like, I'm gonna miss my deadline. I need to go home. I said I'd be home at 11, and it's already 10:30, and then I think you start freaking out.
Yeah,
I think what you need to do really is, I think you just, like you said, just need to have no other plans, because you also do that too, where you'll like make plans for the morning and then make plans for the night. You know, and sometimes they kind of they cut it a little close, and then you freak out that you're gonna disappoint somebody.
If I had a genie, dude, it literally, I don't even need 3 wishes. All I wish for is just more time in the day and that I can clone myself, because it's just like, because I love plans. Don't get me wrong. I like that schedule, and I think it's implied. Like all my friends know, it's like, dude, Jacob, we're not asking you to stay until 4 a.m. There's just no need to give a timestamp. Just come over, and then when you're ready to go, just don't make a thing about it.
Yeah.
That's it, you know. But it's like, I don't know why. Like,
but this is another thing that you do. This is another thing that you do.
Yeah,
is that if you don't like give yourself a time thing, like everybody, everybody can get a vibe
that I'm like
that you want to leave,
right?
You know,
because you get
very like,
yeah,
you know.
But that's not like my intention.
Or you just be like,
yeah, I'm that guy in the back of the show.
You know,
yeah. But I want to like make it very clear that I am enjoying my time. Yeah. And I don't mean to do that, but it's just like, it's just so weird. Like that's just where my brain goes, where it's just like, if I could have every single day. This is why I always fantasize about having a legitimate personal assistant. Like, to me, that is like the peak of my success, is that I have someone that literally tells me that you are scheduled to wake up and start your day at 8:30 a.m. And it's like that American Dad bit. You know, he's just like 8:30 to 8:45, shower, feed Klaus's omelet. Like, it's just like, like that is my ideal thing.
Yeah.
I think it comes with work too, because with work I make my own schedule.
Have a lot of deadlines
and I make my own schedule.
Yeah.
So it's kind of bled into like life. I just feel bad because, and this goes back to what I was originally saying, is that when I'm super drunk, I'm not like that. But I don't like being super drunk anymore, and I want to be sober and enjoy my time with my friends. But I always look like I'm having a bad time when I'm sober.
You do look like you're having
but
a bad
I'm
time.
not. Like, you see what I'm saying? Like, I see how like fucked up it is. Like,
it's a vicious.
It's a
cycle,
weird
it sounds
medium
like.
that I need to find. You know?
I really think that you could benefit from just telling yourself, like, I don't have a time to be home. You know,
because I really don't.
You don't.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, maybe like
if I work the next day, but
yeah, or like when you're in a relationship. You know, I get it.
No.
You know, you're here. Like, yeah, just make some plans. Just I don't have anything to do tomorrow. Or
you know what I think it is? I think it's because if I don't give you guys a time frame, I always think that it's implied that you guys are going to make me stay out late, but all of you have known me for more than 10 years and you know that I'm not a night owl. So like, you're not asking me to stay till 4, but like you could make it to like midnight.
I think you think that we might do that because we all used to live together.
Yeah.
You know, and there were nights where we would just chill in the garage smoking and drinking until like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I feel like you were like, oh no, I don't want to do this again, you know, which is fine.
I think I just, you know what it is that, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this, but you guys are my best friends. I make time for you no matter what, but it's just like, I'm always now thinking, this is a good and a bad thing, but I'm always thinking, what could I be doing right now that's going to benefit? When I'm not doing this with you, this is all I'm thinking about every single day of my life. While I'm at work, and it sounds mean, but while I'm hanging out with like friends, family, like, this is all I think about is this show. And so it's just like, I'm so obsessed with like, with this show and like just my social media presence and like stuff like that, where I'm just like, okay, what can I, like, I feel like I'm always just like thinking like in my head. And that's why like,
oh, are you?
Yeah, well, no. I'm saying just like, I'm thinking about just like it's like if we're hanging out at a bar with everybody and like in my head, I'm like, I could do that on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, so it's just like in my head, I'm writing these mental notes, but it's just like that thought can just be like, you know, we don't have 5 million subscribers.
I think you could probably benefit from just carrying around like a notepad.
Maybe.
You know?
Honestly,
like if you have an idea, just write it down, done with it, you know?
Right. Because so then I don't look like that guy that's all like just tweaked out. I can just really quick be like, hold on.
So you know you have it,
right.
you know?
Right. Dang, I need to get myself like a little pocket like moleskin then.
Yeah.
Yeah. Something like
a little data book or something. Yeah.
I used to have one when I wrote jokes, and it's like, it's so funny because those always look just like little manifestos, like just like little crazy memoirs.
Yeah.
Like if you read it out of context, like
it's like, oh my god,
like I love like in my calendar it really does say remind Christian of how fat he was 2 years ago. Like out of context, it's like that's a mean thing to say, but like you know what I mean. Christian, I just want to let you know, you were fat as shit. It's just like we're doing it for the show. Like if you didn't know me, I'm just literally gonna call you and just be mean. Like,
I mean,
no, man. That's like I need schedules. Like that's like I love just organization. I love just it makes me like that's my aesthetic. Like I love knowing. And it stresses me. Everyone I've ever talked to about this, they all say the same thing. It was like, that sounds stressful. I don't know how you do that. But it's just like, I need to know every single step of my day. I do not like, and this is what like freaks me out about like when people are like, oh dude, like, cause I want to like go to Oktoberfest.
Yeah.
That's like one of my dreams. And it's just like, and people are just like, oh man, you could do this and that. And you just kind of wing it. And I was just like, nope. Like I will be my own tour guide. Like I will do the research and I will say, Christian, from this time to this time we're going here. From this time to this time we're gonna go get lunch. From this time to this time, because I'm in a foreign country. I don't know. Like I need to have control. And I feel like I think that's the breakthrough.
I was gonna say I think that might be
might be the breakthrough. Is that with everything that's going on in my life, like I feel like
you just need
I can
some
control. I can control what I'm doing at any given moment, and I think that's why I'm so obsessed with it.
And I think that is a thing, and I think you let that bleed out into other aspects of your life. Like you kind of preach it a little bit, because like I know you're the first person. Like when I say something, like I'll say like, oh, I was talking to so and so, and she said, she wants me to do this, and I said I don't want to do that, right? I was like, and then I felt bad about it, and then you'll be like, well, no, you're allowed to say that.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're allowed, as a human being, you're allowed to say that. And I feel like, yeah, you're telling me that, but I feel like that's also you like passively like reassuring yourself, like I can say no to stuff, like.
Well, and that's another thing that I have a hard time with is because on top of all this shit, I have this horrible dilemma where I just can't. Like I made the joke. So on that YouTube video, one of my favorite comments was the twin bed comment. Remember that on the
motherfucker.
Yeah, so this guy comments, because the video
struggling, boy.
Yeah, the video I made about the whole Magic the Gathering thing.
Yeah.
It's too much money and stuff like that. And this guy comments and he goes, "Leave it to the guy who sleeps in or leave it to the grown man who sleeps in a twin size mattress to not be able to afford Magic products." With all due respect, I hope you don't make it to Christmas. But like. The fact that he said that,
you get crushed to death. By a
honestly,
twin mattress.
I literally hope you. Yeah, like you're the worst. But like reading that, like it was funny, but I'm just like, I don't know if this guy's serious or not. And if he is serious, like there's a small sliver of me that wants to find out who this guy is and just be like, hey, it's me from the Basement Dweller. I was just wondering, like, are you mad at me? You know what I mean? Like it's just like I have this uncontrollable, unquenchable thirst of like just
being liked.
Yeah, and it's impossible. I mean,
feel like everyone has that to a degree.
So when you do say that, when I'm like, oh no, you are allowed to say that, it is me telling myself like, okay, I can be a dick sometimes. I can put my foot down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I just don't like confrontation. That's my thing.
I
know.
for
You eat it up. You know what I mean?
Love it.
And that's why, like, if you look at like some of our, they're not arguments, but like if you look at like, like, because when I get nervous, I contradict myself because I'm like, like the pain thing, like that conversation we had. It's just like you look at it, it's like, if you don't know the context, like I look like I'm just like cowering because it's just like I would rather be like, okay, I'm sorry, you're right. Like I freak out because you're mad, like because I feel like you're mad, and I just hate that feeling. So again, breakthrough, brain blast. I think that when I schedule my whole day, no one can tell me otherwise. No one's gonna be like, oh no, you need to do this instead of this.
Except Christian.
I'm the Michael Jackson to your what's his dad's name?
Oh, fuck, I don't know.
Is it Jesse Jackson? Is that him? I don't know.
I don't think so.
You just control my whole life.
I feel like he was a politician or something.
So yeah, man, I don't know. Like there's just a lot of things
Stop
going
looking
on.
at the clock. I already see you.
I know. I'm sorry.
About it.
There's a lot of things that like I've just been so worried about in my recent, like just in the last like 3 months alone, that it's my own journey and it's like some stuff I have to figure out. And honestly, I'm doing a lot more fine than some other people. Like I was so glad that I did have this sounds mean to say, I don't mean it like this, but I'm so glad that I had like an escape plan, so to speak. Like I didn't just have to like just go get kicked out of my house. You know what I mean? And sometimes that doesn't work for people.
So glad I have parents.
Yeah, like an awesome parent who was just there to help me because not everyone has that. But it's just like I think that I also feel like I mean I don't want to get too much into it just because I don't want this to be feelings hour. But it's just like
Jacob loves his mom.
I do love my mom with all my heart, but it's just like no, like going back to like the struggles, like I don't even address them because in my mind it's like there's always something worse. So it's just like I feel like I have no say in like why I should be upset because
So-
someone else is.
Just like me, you're a bit of an overthinker. I would say try when you're making plans for Jacob, like plans for fun, make that the last thing you have to do that day and leave it open-ended, and then leave when you feel comfortable enough to leave. But don't linger if you already felt like you should have left. You know what I mean? Don't be like, well, they're going to get mad at me if I leave now, so I'm just going to sit here. You know,
Right.
don't do that.
Right.
But no, I think in terms of that, at least just so people don't get like a vibe from you, like a bad vibe, like just, yeah, man, just make
Like
plans.
like have the acceptance before you get there that I know that after this is free time.
And also don't do it if you don't want to do it.
Yeah, I have hung out and made plans with people just to literally pray that they call me and say, yeah, I can't hang
Yeah,
out. Yeah.
like me, you see me, like I even fucking strained friendships because I'm just like, I don't want to do that, you know?
right.
And then like I've had people just like, it seems like you don't want to hang out with us. Just no, I just don't want to do that.
Yeah,
I don't
like-
have the money to spend.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So it's just like, yeah, man, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to say no, and you're allowed to get out of this room whenever you want.
Yeah. Tell me I don't have to be in this room.
Yeah.
I love when we end. I love when we end on conversations like this. I always feel like you do make the joke like, oh, I don't need therapy. I do this, but it's just like talking with you, man, on this show. It's so funny, like to think like this is like it feels like with you like this is such a private time. You know what I mean? But it's not. You know, like I don't know. So it's like I love how I've noticed that there's a trend where we always start silly, and then it's like okay, it's like we're on a road trip. Where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like the start of the show is like you put in your favorite music and you're just like, yeah, like you're getting down and stuff like that. You're like telling stories, and then it's just like cut to 7 hours later where you're like, and that was the last time my dad and I ever talked. You know what I mean? Like so it's just like it gets really real.
Lol, just hey man, so I've been going through some shit.
Yeah, you know. But no, this is great because I know that there's a bunch of people out there that probably feel the exact same way.
And that's why I think that it's cool that we can have like these kind of conversations on camera and like kind of forget the cameras there. Because it's like, yeah, personal problems, emotional problems, anxiety problems, depression problems, and all that stuff. It's super hard to talk about, you know? And it's like, it kind of gives them, I want to say like a kind of a neutral ground. Cause like, we've heard from a lot of our friends like, oh, I love the podcast because it's like hanging out with you guys without the obligation to say anything.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah.
So it's like, it's cool because it's like, you guys don't have to say anything, but you can listen to what we're saying to each other. And maybe it's helping you out. Maybe it's good advice. Maybe it's shitty advice.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.
That was bad advice. Advice unclear. Wife left me. She took the fucking kids, guys.
I blame you forever and always.
Instructions unclear. Dad and I are estranged.
Penis stuck in toaster. But yeah, no, I mean, I do like this because, we've always said like, we wish we should charge people for this,
Yeah.
But it's just like, it's like non-obligatory therapy for you and me and for them, I guess.
Right.
So
I think it is always good to like just hear someone else. Like that's why I started like listening to podcasts, and like I would listen to like Howard Stern and stuff like that. Cause yeah, every now and again, I mean, it was mostly for the jokes, but like every now and again you do get a little like, it's not serious, but you're just like, I'm going through that myself too. You know what I mean? So yeah, I mean, and I'll always say that was the original intention of the show, was essentially just be a chicken soup for the underachieving
soup
soul.
for the soul.
Just it. But yeah, man, I just know I always fear that I'm coming off as like a poo-poo friend, because it's just like I look like a stressed dad. Like when I go out, and I'm trying my best to not do that, but at the same time, it's like, okay, well, I can get all liquored up and I'm good, but it's just like that's not what you're supposed to do, But like,
I think you do also just need to cut loose sometimes. I'm a firm believer, like, hey man, like get blackout drunk at least once a year.
But I think that, but my whole thing is that I while I agree with that, I think that you need to still be responsible.
Of course.
That's my only thing is that it's
don't
just
get
like
blackout drunk at a bar. Don't
Right.
get blackout drunk at a party that, you don't know the owner of the house,
But like my whole thing is like now it's just like even within the last like 3 months, I don't like drink and drive anymore.
Good.
I know. I have no problem incriminating myself. I've said it multiple times that I have definitely, I've been pulled over and I should have went to jail, but I never did, and I was fucking wasted. You know what I mean?
I've never been pulled over.
Well,
I know, I'm gonna get pulled
I
over.
was like,
on my
count
way
your
home
fucking
now.
sheep, man, because yeah, that happens. But like little things like that, like I agree, it is fun to cut loose, but it's just like now at this point where I'm just like, I do put a lot of societal pressures on myself because I'm like, it's like that thing in the mirror. It's like, what are you doing?
Sure.
You know, but it's just like, who cares? I put so much things it's such a fucking schizo mentality where I'm just like, everyone out there is having the same conversation that I'm having in here in the mirror by myself.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like, I do agree that like, yeah, I need to, you know, metaphorically just throw my phone away and just be like, I'm gonna have fun.
You just need to lighten up a little bit, man.
Yeah. I mean, that is like, just like that's the prognosis is just, you know what I mean? Just lighten up, dude.
Yeah.
Smell the fucking roses, because I have been getting quite very pessimistic.
Recreational time isn't work.
Yeah.
You know,
dude, life is just work for me.
Think about
right
it this
now.
way: you're not getting paid. You know,
Yeah.
don't get stressed if you're not getting paid.
That's the thing, though, is that this doesn't stress me out. It's all I think about.
No, I'm saying you get stressed out at work and shit, and it's like at least
I get stressed out at
you.
work because I don't want a real job anymore. But you know, who does?
I
You know,
feel that.
Yeah. I mean, I get stressed out at work because I'd rather be anywhere but there. You know, when I'm there. You know,
Yeah.
but that's not an edgy thought. You know, I would just rather be here. You know, and that's how I feel always. Like it is like that conversation that we had like we had on Monday, where it's just like, it's funny to think about, but I was legitimately upset that I was like, I cannot believe we're having this conversation right now, unmiked.
Yeah.
Like I hate this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's just how I think all day long now.
Well, I mean, there's gonna be missed opportunities no matter what.
Yeah.
Sometimes we're gonna have gold that's gonna just not make it on the show.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens.
We could always like just bring it back. I mean, we could have done it this episode even and just talked about what we talked about.
Holy shit, we're already at an hour 30, huh?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like I said, I love looking at the time. I'm just like, I'm like a Batman villain, dude. Like I'm like, this is my arc where I'm like Calendar Man. Like I'm just becoming obsessed with the concept of time.
That
and
seems
schedule.
like it seems like a lot of people are kind of like dipping into their villain arc lately.
It's like just I don't know, like with time and stuff. I'm gonna sound like a fucking prequel, like trailers. Time, you know what I mean? Like, but it's just like
time.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. Like it's just I like knowing at all times. But it's like I started wearing watches again because it's just like I need to know. Like I need to know.
Yeah.
It is because again, it just helps with my anxiety.
So my anxiety
No, we're time's up. Just kidding.
is the uncurable type. No.
Yeah. Tell us what your anxiety is. What are you terrified of? I would love to hear that. Because I think that we're a lot more similar than we all think. And I think that things that you are really critical on with yourself, I can promise you, are not as bad. If you're a guy that just likes to get choked by toes, I promise you're not the only fucking one, man. So there's, you know, so I say these things in total confidence because
Choked by toes.
I
Just
just
like big toe. Just
yeah. Like I say these things in total confidence because it's just like ever since I started the show, I've wanted people to know that you're definitely not alone. You know what I mean? And I have this problem where I do feel like I'm alone all the time. Like I'm the only one that feels this way. And it's a selfish thought because obviously people think like this all the fucking time. But that's why I say it to you. And that's why I confide in you because you're my BFFF, best fucking friends for life. And I love everyone who listens to the show and people who haven't listened to it yet. And I just want to know that just know that I am over here having a mental breakdown because I always need to know what time it is. And whatever it is that you're freaking out about, it's totally fine, man.
full solidarity. We're all having a horrible time.
Yeah, the life just sucks. That's just how very, very Freudian I'm getting as I get older. Just everything is horrible. I love how good this one was because you guys are not going to enjoy episode 60. God damn it.
I even texted you. I was like, should we just redo the episode?
No, I can't redo it. We're going live. Fuck it. We're doing it live.
Damn. It's just gonna be us like
No, there
me
was
like being like halfway incoherent just because like the fucking mask I'm wearing.
that was pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's get out of here. I'm fucking tired.
All right, buddy.
But thank you guys for listening. Episode 59. I'm Jacob. That's Christian. We love you lots. Stay golden.
Love you guys.
Bye.
If you like what you heard, type into their Instagram and Twitter. The information's right below with their email.
It's time you bit the bullet and started caring about something with all your heart and energy.
Be sure to log into the channel by subscribing and check out the previous episodes. But until then, we'll see you next week with a new one. We out for now.